everybody, I'm here with
Ben Goldsmith.
Kayla Valerio.
Casey Pierce.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here and a little bit of your story?
Absolutely. So we belong to a company called Source Point Press that's coming out with brand new indie horror and sci-fi. These guys are coming up. We're at all the cons. You guys can see us anywhere, basically, including Garden State Comic Fest. Woo! No one joined in. So that's how that goes. What I'm doing personally is I'm here promoting my book, The Seance Room, which is basically just about a gentleman who owns a mansion where there are 6 ghosts, each one of them more terrifying than the next. You know why they're terrifying? Because Miss Kayla Valerio drew them all. Kayla Valerio is unbelievable. And you know what? She gave birth to a man named Stan. Here he is right behind, ladies and gentlemen, Stan. Stan is actually part of the Source Point Press crew as well. And he's skulking around.
I didn't birth him out.
Yeah, guys, all right? Everyone, easy up, all right? She didn't birth him, guys. Lay off the comic boards. These guys didn't do anything, okay? So, and then this is, we're all here promoting our comics. Casey's got Nora. Here you can show that. Beautiful stuff. That's what we do. We're just Source Point is a community. You're welcome. It's just a community where we are making comics that are quality. We're consistent. We're everywhere. Check it out.
Awesome, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to really create this? You know, what got into your head? Yeah, you know what? I need to do this. I need to make this story.
Yeah. So this one's a little different in the way that the whole idea of this one is that it is the story itself is whatever I'm like bummed out about at the time or something that's really tripping me up. Facing that stuff that you go, oh, I don't want to talk about that. The actual story, the Seance Room itself, is more of the train that passenger is working on, right? So like each episode or issue is about a different topic. So this one's a little bit about meaning what you say, and especially in the realm of politics. The second one is going to be about dealing with the loss of a loved one. So each one is a different topic, and this is just the cone in which the ice cream is given to you in. So that really was it. Is to be honest with you, what the inspiration is going, how do I come up with something that's sellable, that also is allowing me to be able to do all the different things that really irk me at different times. Now, I know it's probably a little different for Nora. Nora was a very specific creation.
There's 3 different schools that inspired Nora. Nora is a coma fisher for hire. So she can delve into your mind's eye and retrieve you from or help you cross over to your coma. But she obtained that ability while working in pathogenic development for the CIA, creating viruses for means of biological warfare. And people say, you know, well, what inspired you to do that? I said, well, a couple of things. Well, first off, it gets a little heavy because I'm obsessed with neurology. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 26. And from then on, I became obsessed with the brain, the nervous system, how it works. I've also dabbled in the metaphysical, and I think, you know, what is a coma? Well, to me, it's a metaphysical house in space, somewhere cold and desolate between life and death. And then the CIA thing comes in because one too many NPR broadcasts about torture, and I was enamored with that. So I just kind of blended the 3, but you know, with Kayla on board with Source Point Press, we are making a movement in fine arts, being in comics. You know, everything's sort of painted. This is by Sean Seal, and Kayla illustrates the Seance Room. You know, all hand painted, lots of care, and it adds like a drama to the piece too. So along with this indie uprise that's happening now in comics, we're also seeing the rise of crossing comics with the fine arts. We're very proud of that. It's something different, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. I've heard very few people that do not care for the art style, because some people are used to the traditional cape style, wham bam boom. That's cool. You know, I like that stuff too. But you know, people are looking for something new, something different.
Now to you now. Explain a little bit about your artwork, you know, what inspired you to do this, and because I've got to look at some of your stuff and it's really, really good. I'm really impressed. Can you talk a little bit about your work?
So I've been working as a graphic designer a couple years, but I've been attending conventions and selling prints for a while. So like I was telling you before, I'm like, this is the first time I've worked on a book, I'm working on selling it, and it's such a different process and stuff like that. And I kind of got into comics and making them a lot later in life than most people, you know. I didn't really dive into it until about college, because I studied under George Pratt, who's known for doing painted graphic novels. He did Enemy Ace, he did these like awesome painted Wolverine Natsuke comics like a long time ago, and like did a couple he did Batman Harvest Blood. So like that realm of more painterly comics is how I got really introduced to the process of it. And it was something that I kind of wanted to do for a long time. So when Ben and I met a couple years ago and I knew he was an aspiring writer, I was like, okay, cool. We stayed in touch. He said that once he started getting his stories out there, he'd like to work with me on something. And sure enough, he did. So when I got the call or the email, I was like, okay, sign me up. I'm ready to do this.
What percent incredulous were you when I told you? Like, you did?
Like a fair amount.
Yeah.
In retrospect, like a fair amount. Because it's just like, it's not so much on you. It's more like with my luck, this isn't going to happen. And then it did. And I was like, oh crap, now I actually have to do this, which is fine. As far as inspiration goes, I'm like, it's funny because a lot of illustrators tend to get their inspiration from like other art. And honestly, it's like the day-to-day stuff. Just places I like to go to, but food, the place I live in, the people around me, those are the things that inspire me, and the things that I'd like to aspire to push me a little further to like work harder, So I can't say I'm looking at this and this and that, although mainly I had wanted to go into comics to do covers, so I always looked at Adam Hughes, Alex Ross, and then Adi Granov. Those are my like 3 A's, or like the cover masters in my opinion, so I'm like, those are the guys that I would always like to aspire to as far as covers go. Yeah. So.
One final question for you guys. Now, all these stores are amazing. I'm really, really interested in a lot of the stuff you're saying here. Where do you see this brand in 5 years? Let's say 5 years. Where do you see this?
Where it's like. Oh, hopefully, well, I'm not going to say hopefully. I'm going to say it will happen. Yes, I will believe it. Compressed into volumes, trades. We're trying to make household names of these creations. So, and I want to start doing massage because I want to, not because I have to. So that's a personal goal, because we all have day jobs. We're all, hardworking folks. So we never punch out.
Yeah,
as creators, we don't.
It's tough. My day job of being an astronaut is. I'd like to take a break from it a little bit. Space.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Me talking to you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Matthew, thank you, brother.
Your work is great. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Is that possible? Ready? Okay. Matthew, what got you into podcasting or making video blogs?
Wanted to do it full time. Wanted to do it full time. I'm a nerd and I wanted to do it full time. There you go.
From Ben Goldsmith here at Garden State Comic Fest. Signing off.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great. Thank you.